Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about delayed gratification and why this is one of the most difficult things to attain in adulthood, especially as a young adult. So if you could just imagine even being in your 20s and how living in the US just literally makes you feel like you should have everything. Like you should have it all. You should have everything figured out. You should already have a house, a car, a girlfriend, a wife. You should have a X amount of money, an X amount of success, vacation plans, travel plans, all sorts of plans. But then what happens when things don't follow through? When we get into a traffic jam, when we have to deal with problems that, you know, it's new to us that we don't really know how to deal with. We get mad, we get angry, we get frustrated. We almost even curse at the world for the things that feel like it's completely unfair. We feel like things should be much easier, not much more difficult. Um, Even with dating, it's a common thread to hear that things have not been getting easier, that dating apps for most people feel like a scam, that things ultimately shouldn't be the way they are, and yet it is. And we just accept it now as just life. There's people who invent blue pill, red pill, black pill content, and there's like no one size fits all solution to these sort of things. Like, just imagine with dating, for example, most people are going to have preferences, and it almost doesn't matter how much of a good person you are or how good looking you are. Sometimes it doesn't even matter how much money you are. Like, the money you have is what I'm saying. Someone can just be so biased and say one or two things they don't like about you and feel like that's enough reason to not want to date. And you can never really know why a person would reject you too. We're not mind readers. It's not something that it's just given to us. A lot of times we're just left wondering. We're in a generation of ghosting, even with jobs. You know, it's not even like unheard of anymore. So, with all that being said, how does this tie to delayed gratification? It ties into delayed gratification because we're so used to things being quick, fast, because patience is a real virtue. You know, if you stay 2 seconds at a green light, you will already hear people honking. That's how it is. And it's understandable that people have somewhere to be, somewhere to go. But just think about how few people have patience. You know, it's truly something special when you have patience to not let yourself feel so negative and throw negativity onto a person with words or actions. And a lot of people that I hear online talk about social media, getting likes, getting views, all these sort of things that, hijacks your dopamine, playing games, um, watching explicit content, all those sort of things. And why this is bad, for what I understand, like everything from what I understand, it's really about how you perceive success in one sense. So your mind, when it's overloaded with dopamine, it feels like it accomplished its most important task of the day. Like, you don't feel like you need much more. Just think about junk food. You know, food is supposed to fill you, and it's also supposed to give you energy and nutrients. Junk food just fills you, doesn't really give you nutrients, doesn't give you much energy. And that's what instant gratification does. It's just like junk food. And when you think of it that way, you don't really need much of a analogy or comparisons to other things, because that's exactly what it is. Instant gratification is junk food that we give to ourselves to make us feel better. But the realest thing that will make us feel better is challenging ourselves, which doesn't feel good initially. That's what it is. It's not going to feel good being able to start being a runner, to start going back to the gym or going to the gym for your first time, to learn how to drive, to be able to write 14-page essays, to learn quantum physics, like anything that's difficult, meaningful, challenging. It's never going to feel good through parts of the process, but it's those parts that make you really question things, even your own abilities, where if you actually succeed, it's going to feel amazing. Like finishing a boss battle in a video game. So it's not to say that you can't allow yourself to feel good doing other things. You know, this is not to say you can never enjoy social media, you can never enjoy talking to friends or cracking jokes or not. You still got to enjoy life. But what I am saying is that you don't want to just give yourself junk food all the time. Like, you want to be able to give yourself things that actually creates more purpose, creates more depth, like, deeper meaning. And that's really what delayed gratification is all about. It's like, give yourself some time to actually grind. Like if you're starting to work and you're only given like a few days to work, try to work hard enough to get a full week of work. Maybe not 7 days, because that's not for everybody, but 5 days or even 6 days. And allow yourself to grow at your own pace. Everyone's going to have an opinion. People are going to say a lot of negative things all the time. But what matters is your own growth, your own ability to recover and not listen to every single thing that a person's going to tell you. Because the thing about negativity is that it does cause harm, like even if it's not like something that someone is really trying to put on you. And then other times it does make you grow, because you do want to prove people wrong. Like, you really just want to prove somebody wrong. Like, if someone tells you you can't do something and then you do it because you want to prove them wrong, and that's like, a lot of ways is how it happens. But I'm not gonna tell you to like do things that are harmful or reckless. I just mean it in the sense of like, if you have a dream to be a content creator, to write music, create art, do construction, do things that like really make you feel good, you know, it's not wrong to pursue those things. What it is wrong is it's like something where you're like not being able to pay your bills and stuff like that. That's when I would say a postponement of getting to your dream career. And that's not a bad thing, because if you don't have money to support yourself, eating, paying bills, like sometimes our biggest dreams do have to wait. You know, they must. If we can't pay our bills, creating our own art, our own things, that's when it is time to really mature and find something that will pay. And it's not easy, you know. I deal with that, and I still try to make content on here, but that's besides the point. You know, I'm starting at a very ground zero point, and you know, the enjoyment I get out of these videos is the fact that I put myself out of my comfort zone. I'm definitely more introverted, but I do find it easy to talk more when it's stuff I actually care about. So, in a sense, when you actually really care about something, you just kind of find a way to do what you want to do and challenge yourself a bit. So, that's all this video is about: challenging yourself a bit, trying to do things that feel more important and meaningful in your life, and still enjoying the little things too. It's not to say that you can never game or go on social media, but it's realizing that it's not going to sustain you much if that's all you do. You know, you still want to have goals for yourself, big goals, and start small. You know, even if you're not chasing your dream or your passion right now, it doesn't mean you can't do small things to, you know, still keep the dream alive and still take care of your responsibilities. So that's all I really wanted to say for today. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching.